Hi friends, welcome to today's class. So today's question is, a dice is thrown. What is the probability that the number shown on the dice is an even number, an odd number, a number divisible by 2, a number divisible by 3, a number less than 4 and a number less than or equal to 6. Okay, so you already know probability is equal to number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of outcomes. So here first let's write the sample space. Sample space represents the total possible outcomes. So when a dice is thrown, what are the different outcomes? It can be any number between 1 and 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. These are the possible outcomes when a dice is thrown. Now what is the first question? What is the probability that the number shown is an even number? So how many favorable outcomes are there? The number of favorable outcomes is equal to number of even numbers. How many even numbers are there? 2 is an even number, 4 is an even number, 6 is an even number. So probability will be equal to, probability of an even number to occur will be equal to 3, which is the number of favorable outcomes, divided by total number of outcomes is equal to 6. So 3 by 6, which gives you 1 by 2. Always probability should be expressed in the lowest terms. The second question, what is the probability of the number to be an odd number? So what are the odd numbers possible here? 1, 3 and 5. These are the odd numbers. So again there are 3 favorable outcomes. So 3 divided by total number of outcomes is equal to 6. So your probability will be equal to 1 by 2. Next question is a number divisible by 2. So what are the possible outcomes here? What are the favorable outcomes? 2 is divisible by 2, then 4 and 6. So probability will be equal to, again there are 3 favorable outcomes and total number of outcomes is equal to 6. So 3 divided by 6 is equal to 1 by 2. The next question, a number divisible by 3. So how many possible outcomes are there? There are 2 favorable outcomes. One is 3 and the second one is 6. So probability will be equal to 2 divided by 6. 2 is the number of favorable outcomes and 6 is the total number of outcomes. The next question, a number less than 4. A number less than 4 means how many possible outcomes are there? There are 3 possible or 3 favorable outcomes. 1, 2 and 3. This 1, 2 and 3 are less than 4. So probability will be equal to 3 divided by 6 is equal to 1 by 2. Now again the last question is a number less than or equal to 6. A number less than or equal to 6, how many favorable outcomes are there? All the 6. All the outcomes, all the 6 are a number less than or equal to 6. So probability will be equal to 6 divided by 6, which gives you 1. So this is a very basic question on probability. So you see how many favorable outcomes are there, and then how many outcomes are there in total. So number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of outcomes will give you the corresponding probability. So second question, a dice is thrown twice. What is the probability of getting a sum 9? So dice is thrown twice means what is the sample space? So in the first throw, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 can occur. And in second throw, again all these 6 possibilities are there. Again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So we have to get a sum equal to 9. So how we can obtain a sum equal to 9? From 2 throws of a dice, what are the different possible cases? So from 2 plus 7 only will be giving 9. So from this, when we are getting a 2 on the first throw, we cannot get a sum equal to 9. So 3 and 6. 3 and 6 can give a sum equal to 9. So that is one favorable outcome. Next is just the reverse of that. I am taking now itself because it is more easier. 6 and 3. So 3 and 6 means 6 and 3 also can come. 6 on the first dice and 3 on the second dice. 3, 6 means 3 on the first throw and 6 on the second throw. The opposite can also occur. 6 on the first throw and 3 on the second throw. So 3, 6, 6, 3 are the 2 favorable outcomes. Then 4 on the first throw and 5 on the second throw. So 4, 5 is another favorable outcome. Then 5 and 4 is the last favorable outcome. So how many favorable outcomes are there? there are 4 favorable outcomes. And what is the total number of outcomes? The total number of outcomes will be equal to 6 into 6, or there are 6 outcomes in the first row and again 6 outcomes on the second row. So 6 into 6, 36 will be the total number of outcomes. So if 1 is obtained on the first row, then again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 can be obtained on the second row of the dice. So corresponding to 1, there can be 6 outcomes. Then second, when a 2 is appearing on the first row of the dice, again 6 outcomes are possible for the second row. So likewise 6 into 6, 36 will be the total number of outcomes. So probability will be equal to 4 divided by 36. 4 is the number of favorable outcomes and 36 is the total number of outcomes. So probability will be equal to 4 by 36, which gives you 1 by 9. So 1 by 9 will be the probability. Question number 3. 2 dice are thrown simultaneously. What is the probability of getting sum a multiple of 3 or 4? So when an OR is coming in the question, the probability of getting a multiple of 3 or a multiple of 4. So when OR is coming in the probability question, you can add the corresponding probabilities. So here you can find out the probability of getting a multiple of 3 separately and the probability of getting a multiple of 4 separately. And if you add these two probabilities, you will get your final answer. So OR is coming in the question. So you can calculate the probabilities separately and then add both. So 2 dice are thrown simultaneously. So what are the possible outcomes? So possible outcomes can be 36 outcomes can be there. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the first dice and similarly again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the second dice. So actually the sample space will be like this: 1, 1, then 1, 2, then 1, 3, then 1, 4, similarly 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, then 3, 1, 3, 2. Likewise 36 outcomes will be the sample space, but no need of writing the entire sample space here. Okay, you just need to know that there are 36 possible outcomes in total. Now we are going to find out the favorable outcomes. So first we can find out the probability of getting a multiple of 3. So what are the multiples of 3 possible? What are the sums possible? Maximum sum possible will be equal to 12. 6 on first dice and again a 6 on the second dice. So 12 will be the maximum sum possible. So multiples of 3, what are the different multiples of 3 possible? 3 can occur, 3, 6, 9 and 12. These 4 multiples of 3 are possible when 2 dice are thrown simultaneously. So how can this 3 come? How can a sum 3 come? 1, 2. From 1, 2 also we can get 3 and also by 2, 1. So these are the 2 ways of obtaining sum equal to 3. Now sum equal to 6. What are the different ways of obtaining sum equal to 6? You can start from 1. So you can start from 1, so you will not miss any case. So sum getting 6 means 1 and 5 is one case and 5 and 1. Okay, just write the reverse. Then next one is 2 and 4. 2 and 4, then 4 and 2, then 3 and 3. So these are the different cases of obtaining sum equal to 6. That means 1 on the first dice and a 5 on the second dice. Just the reverse of that. 5 on the first dice, 1 on the second dice. Then 2, 4. 2 on the first dice, 4 on the second dice. Then 4, 2. Just the reverse of 2, 4. Then 3, 3. A 3 on the first dice and a 3 on the second dice also. Now next case 9. So what is the possibility of getting sum equal to 9? You can have 3 and 6. And similarly 6 and 3. Then you can have 4 and 5 and similarly 5 and 4. So these are the ways of obtaining sum equal to 9. Then how you can obtain sum equal to 12? There is only one possibility, 6 and 6. So to obtain a multiple of 3, how many favorable outcomes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So how many favorable outcomes are there? 12 favorable outcomes will be there to obtain a multiple of 3. So what will be the probability? Probability will be equal to 12 divided by 36. 36 is the total possible outcomes and 12 is the number of favorable outcomes. Next you can see multiples of 4. Then how many multiples of 4 are possible? 4 can occur, 8 can occur, and 12 can also occur. 4, 8 and 12. These are the 3 multiples of 4 which can be obtained as a sum from 2 dice thrown simultaneously. Then how you can obtain a sum equal to 4? 1, 3 is one case, 3, 1 is the second case. Then 2, 2. 1 on the first dice, 3 on the second dice. Second case, 3 on the first dice, 1 on the second dice. Then 2, 2. Both dice are showing 2. Then how you can obtain 8? You can start from 1, 1, 7. It is not possible. The next is 2, 6 and 6, 2. Then 3, 5 and 5, 3. And last case is 4, 4. And what about 12? There is only one case, 6, 6. So how many favorable outcomes are there? Number of favorable outcomes is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So 9 is the number of favorable outcomes. So what is the probability? Probability will be equal to 9 by 36. You are asked to find out the probability of getting either a multiple of 3 or a multiple of 4. So when OR is coming in the question, the total probability will be equal to the sum of the separate probabilities. Probability to obtain a multiple of 3 is equal to 12 by 36. And probability to obtain a sum equal to a multiple of 4 is equal to 9 by 36. So you have to add both 12 by 36 plus 9 by 36, which will be giving you 12 plus 9 is equal to 21. So 21 by 36, which will be giving you 7 by 12. So 7 by 12 is the required probability. Thank you for watching.